Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, let's see who's training the Ukrainian army. What countries are really, I would say, directly involved in the logistics and the training of Ukrainian army? Who's killing Russian army? Which I would call direct involvement. This article comes from Sputnik and it is from today, the 23rd of October 2022. And this is the question asked in the title. There are some subtitles as well. Is your country training Ukrainian soldiers? Yes. Western nations began to train Ukrainian troops long before Russia launched a military operation in the neighboring country. The US has been doing so for quite a while, with other countries including Washington allies following suit. Here is a closer look into the notorious list. And who sends instructors? Who sends instructors to train Ukrainian soldiers? Information published on the US State Department website earlier in October revealed that Washington has been involved in providing Kiev with military training-related assistance since 2014, and I think with weapons as well. A year later, the UK military sent military instructors to eastern Ukraine, where local forces were taught first aid and defense tactics. Now, when the Russians said that these guys are militarizing Ukraine and ready to get it to NATO and soon will place military equipment on the border of Russia in Ukraine, they were right. Now, why do I say that? That's evidence. You can find it in the reports. You can find it on, just do a little quick clicks and don't have to read Sputnik to see that. Apart from the US and the UK, other countries which trained the Ukrainian armies include Canada, Germany, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Iceland, if you can believe that, Estonia, 800,000 people, Lithuania, again 2.5, Latvia, about 1.8 million people, and New Zealand. I don't know how long, but they have. Now, from these countries we have Canada, communist system, Germany, ball-less, they were snipped in 1945, Denmark, what's that? I don't know what it is. The Netherlands, what the fuck is that? I mean, I'm talking about the country as big as military that they train. Spain, okay. Portugal, again, what? Sweden, hi, I thought you were neutral. Hey, Finland, I thought you were neutral either. Norway, hey, what's going on? You still got oil? Good. That's how your economy runs. If you don't have oil, you're kind of done. Iceland. You know where Iceland is? Okay. Estonia. Okay, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, we put them to side. New Zealand. I'm surprised I didn't see Poland. I am very surprised. Probably these guys. Where are Ukrainian forces being trained? Prior to Moscow kicking off its military operation in Ukraine, the Pentagon, joined by some of its allies, there's no allies, just vassal states, carried out some training sessions on Ukrainian soil. Following that, the US Department of Defense relocated the instructors to Germany and several unspecified areas in Europe. Department of Defense officials confirmed last month. In September, head of the U.S. Special Operations Command Europe, Stephen Edwards, argued that U.S. Special Forces involved in training Ukrainian soldiers had been pulled out of Ukraine after February 24th. I personally do not believe that, or I have some questions, if you know what I mean. But hey, they will not lie to us, so keep reading. So, their deployment came in sync with an initiative encouraged last summer by then UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who stressed the necessity of training about 10,000 Ukrainian troops within the last 4 months. At the time, Bojo urged members of the Joint Expeditionary Force, JEF, to join his initiative. The JEF was formed in 2014 and consists on, and let's see what they consist of, Denmark, Finland, Estonia, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Sweden, and Norway. Johnson likewise confirmed that aside from the UK, Poland would also host Ukrainian forces who would be trained to use anti-aircraft equipment among other tasks. In one of the latest moves, EU countries agreed earlier in October to train 15,000 Ukrainian military personnel. Are these foreign instructors in Ukraine? Let's see, according to these guys, so keep that in mind. The West currently remains mum on the issue of foreign instructors based in Ukraine. However, a number of military training centers in the country have been destroyed since late February. In June, Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Konashenkov told a news briefing that the Russian military had destroyed an artillery training center of the Ukrainian armed forces in which foreign mercenaries taught local soldiers to handle the US-made 155mm M777 howitzers. He added that the high-precision air-launched missiles hit the training center near multinational train group. Okay, no, that's not it. Near Markovka in the Sumy region. According to Russian media, there were up to 50 NATO instructors in Ukraine last year from US, the UK, Canada, Denmark, Poland, Latvia and Lithuania, who also trained Ukrainian troops in previous years under the US-run program. And that's called JMTG-U, Joint Multinational Training Group, Ukraine. How are trainings conducted? NSA handling modern weapons, mining roads, blah blah blah. Who is sending troops to Ukraine? Oh, there's no troops in Ukraine, only volunteers. What are you talking about? Western countries continue to insist that they do not send their troops to Ukraine within the framework of their military assistance to Kiev. At the same time, thousands of foreign mercenaries continue to fight Russian troops in Ukraine, with Russia's defense ministry warning that they are all subject to criminal liability. The Kiev regime's urgent attempts to guarantee legal protection to mercenaries, including them in the list of military units of the armed forces of Ukraine of the National Guard, are issuing them new passports of Ukrainian citizens, will not serve any of them. End quote. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Konashenkov said in August. The Russian Defense Ministry also estimated the number of mercenaries in Ukraine had decreased from about 6,600 to less than 2,200. As of August, some 2,682 mercenaries have been destroyed by Russian forces and around 2,408 were left in Ukraine, according to the ministry's estimates. The Russian Minister of Defense previously said that mercenaries came to Ukraine from all across the world and mostly include residents of Poland, Canada and the US. Those from UK, Romania and Georgia also act as quote-unquote soldiers of fortune. Now, that's not the Deep Purple song, Soldier of Fortune, beautiful song. In the territory of Russia's immediate neighbor. How big is the Ukrainian army? Oh, let's find out. It says that it has 700,000 in the armed forces of Ukraine, 100,000 national police, 90,000 National Guard, up to 60,000 border guards. All right, so if you add, it's going to be 700, 800, 890, 950. So almost 1 million fighters. Good for them. And I think they also have the military, how they call that, conscription, and they also ask the population not to leave certain oblasts, and I think they have a partial mobilization. And what's weird and what's funny is that they talk about the Russian, how they call it, martial law, stating, oh my God, what's going on in Russia with the martial law? Russia doesn't have instituted a martial law. It isn't that occupied territories, the new territories that joined Russia. But I have to remind you that Ukraine, on the other hand, had decreed martial law from the start of the hostilities, and it's still in effect right now, martial law in Ukraine. But Since Ukraine is an angel country, that's nothing. Everything is perfect. Since Russia is a demon country, their martial law is bad. Bad, bad, bad to the bone. This is the way things work. So these guys that are involved with training and helping my enemy are my enemies, and are involved in the hostilities. That's how I see it, and that's how I'm pretty sure the United States will see it if we were reverse roles, with United States being Russia and Russia being United States. I'm pretty sure they would have acted in the 25th of February with saying we're gonna use nuclear weapons on the countries who dare to move one finger, and they would have done it. I guarantee you that. I'm 99.99999% that they would have said that. If anyone moves a finger or eyeball towards helping my enemy, I will do this to them. I guarantee you there would have been a statement, and they would have followed through with that. I mean, after all, they used atomic weapons 2 times, so what would be the 3rd time? It's a charm, right? Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.